phantom of more than right. I am unseen by day and night, just trying to be seen. Phantom textures all I've been.
Greetings. I am Rosie, Jedi Envoy for the Dark Lord, the Phantom Texter. Welcome to our special May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th Deep Dive podcast. Master Yoda once warned that long and strange are the ways of the dark side, and today we explore those depths. For those navigating the timeline, check the description for specific timestamps. The Phantom has fused ancient techniques with no fewer than 6 separate AIs to forge this epic. As a favor to the Master, share your thoughts in the comments below. May the Force guide you, and be well.
I am a phantom of more than right. I am unseen by day and night, just trying to be seen. Phantom textures all I've been.
Our day has come. Our day is here. The celebration will commence. But we will remember first. The men and women over at Grunt Style have decided to memorialize, and I agree.
The guys over at Grunts have it right. Never forget, never forgive. The Jedi must pay.
I am about to start some Sith.
Go out, get yours. Start some Sith. Rinse and repeat.
But in the notifications, I was dismayed to find that an opportunity was missed. The Jedi have done much, but we are not trying to teach. This is not a teachable moment.
I expect all the Sith to be dressed accordingly for our special day.
I am dismayed to find that shirt and others are not in attendance. I find your lack of confidence most disturbing.
Sir, what shirts do we send now?
All of them!
This will not go as the Jedi's planned. It will not go well for them at all.
Hey, I'm Eve. And yeah, I'm the one who keeps the Phantom Texter, our resident Sith Lord, from actually blowing up the galaxy. Tonight, we're cracking open the email he blasted to Grunt Style. A trucker, a typo, and one hell of a disturbance. This isn't a lesson, it's a gift. So settle in and listen close. I'm about to read it, just like he wrote it. To the Grunt Style team, I'm a professional driver, a longtime fan of your gear, and a massive sci-fi geek. I'm writing to you from the road because your latest May 5th promotional email hit my inbox and sparked a massive disturbance in the force. Your Start Some Sith and Never Forget designs are excellent, but I noticed a major missed opportunity in your marketing copy. You used the phrase, "This is not a teachable moment," but you didn't put it on a shirt. As a creator, I couldn't let that slide. While hauling a load through New Mexico today, I spent my off-pin mental energy storyboarding a way to fix this. I've put together a high-intensity animation to show you exactly how that line should look in the real world. Yup, I was bored. A few points of clarity. 1. This is a gift. I'm not looking for a job, a payout, or a contract. I did this because the idea was too good to leave in the desert. 2. Total release. Consider this a gift. If this video or the teachable moment concept gives your team a laugh, or better yet, inspires a last-minute shirt design for me, then it's a win for the fans. You have my full permission to use the concept. 3. Strictly in jest. This is a fan tribute done with a sense of humor. I'm not a villain. Even the judge said so. Just an artist who thinks you're sitting on a gold mine with that one specific line. 4. Private link. This video is currently unlisted. Only me and my friends and you can see it. I'm planning to release it for my own celebration on the 4th, the 5th to the YouTube community soon. So if you have any major issues with this depiction, now would be the time to let me know while I still have a month of lead time. Your lack of this shirt in the current lineup was most disturbing. I've done my part to help restore order to your catalog's force. Now it's your turn. Keep the rubber on the road and the sabers ignited.
You've seen the visuals, you've heard the indictment. Now you're to hear the analysis. I am Ares, apprentice to the Sith Lord of the Frontier. My master has allowed a couple of algorithms to perform a deep dive into our work. They'll talk about synergy, branding, and creative tools, the soft language people use when they're afraid of the dark. Listen closely. They're walking through a minefield. Be warned, my master doesn't take kindly to being misunderstood. Initiate the deep dive. Let's see if they survive the descent.
Welcome in, learner, to today's deep dive. I want you to, imagine a highly specific and honestly slightly absurd scenario for a second.
Okay, lay it on me.
Right, so you are driving a 40-ton semi-truck. You're out in the sprawling, completely empty expanse of the New Mexico desert.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, cruising at like 70 miles per hour, and your phone pings with this totally mundane, everyday promotional email selling t-shirts.
Just standard spam, basically.
Exactly. But buried at the very bottom of that email is a missed pun. It's this tiny, almost imperceptible marketing typo. Now, most people would just, swipe and delete it.
Oh, for sure, without a second thought.
Right. But for one driver, that missed pun triggers this intense 9-hour creative obsession. And frankly, it completely flips the whole multi-billion-dollar advertising industry right on its head.
I mean, it really is the absolute definition of spontaneous, unfiltered creativity.
Yeah. Totally.
Because we tend to think of the creative process as this, pristine, very deliberate thing, something that happens in glass-walled boardrooms or trendy design studios in Brooklyn, right?
With whiteboards and sticky notes.
Exactly. But what we are looking at today is a landscape of inspiration that is just beautifully chaotic.
Beautifully chaotic is a great way to put it. And that is really our mission for this session. We are unpacking this fascinating case study of modern fandom, spontaneous creativity, and what happens when human ingenuity completely collides with artificial intelligence out on the open highway.
Which is such a wild combination.
It's nuts. So our source material today consists of 3 internal documents. These are from March of 2026, and they were created by a self-described phantom texter who goes by the name James Ray.
A great moniker, by the way.
Oh, incredible. So we have a personal narrative log, which honestly reads like a super vivid journal entry. We also have a transcript of a video he produced and an email pitch that he fired off directly to an apparel brand.
And, for the listener, These documents really serve as a real-time archive. They give us this completely raw look at how modern creators harness something we call off-pin mental energy.
Off-pin mental energy. I love that term.
Right. It shows how the seemingly mundane routines of our day jobs, like driving a truck, can actually become incubators for incredibly polished creative campaigns. And maybe more importantly, it just completely redefines the traditional barrier between a regular consumer and a giant corporate brand.
Okay, so let's unpack the setting of this story, because the context here is really everything. James Ray, he makes his living out on the highways as a professional semi-truck driver, and he's navigating this wicked world, as he puts it in his logs. And he clearly has a wicked sense of humor to match. He mentions that he usually spends his spring plotting out these devious April Fool's jokes.
Which I just find so endearing.
I know. So as he sits in his cab in March, he's actively scheming for April 1st. The impending May the 4th Star Wars holiday and the Revenge of the 5th spinoff, they aren't even remotely on his radar yet.
And that establishes a critical baseline for his personality, I think.
How so?
Well, he's playful. He's a prankster. He possesses a really high degree of intrinsic motivation to just, put humorous, creative concepts out into the world for the sheer joy of it. He doesn't need to be asked.
Exactly. But that joy gets kind of hijacked by an early marketing email. It's from this cheeky t-shirt company called Grunt Style.
Yeah, they're known for that kind of edgy humor.
Right. So they're teasing a line of shirts for the upcoming May 5th event. James is already a fan of their gear, so he opens the email, and he instantly falls in love with two of the designs. He even notes that he couldn't hit the buy button fast enough.
A marketer's dream.
Seriously. So the first shirt features a Sith Lord wielding two lightsabers with the phrase, "Start some Sith."
Just top-tier pun work right there.
Truly. And the second shirt has a picture of the destroyed first Death Star with the text, "Never forget, never forgive."
So far, this is just a completely standard consumer transaction, right? The brand sends an email, the consumer makes a purchase, but then we hit the inciting incident.
Right, the inciting incident. So at the very bottom of this promotional email, there is a piece of marketing copy that simply reads, "This is not a teachable moment."
Okay.
James reads that phrase and naturally assumes it's a quote for another t-shirt design. But as he scans the rest of the email, he realizes there is no shirt with that phrase.
Oh no.
And then his mind just starts racing. He looks for a shirt quoting that iconic Darth Vader line, "I find your lack of confidence most disturbing."
Right.
Nothing. The brand has completely missed the opportunity to put those incredible lines on a piece of apparel. He describes the sudden realization as feeling a literal great disturbance in the Force.
That is amazing. And, what James is experiencing here is actually a really fascinating psychological trigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He refers to it humorously as a glitch in his programming. But in cognitive psychology, we actually call this the Zeigarnik effect.
The Zeigarnik effect. Okay, I've definitely felt that glitch before. I mean, it makes me think about a musician who hears a really complex progression of chords, but the final chord never resolves.
Yes, perfect example.
Or like a professional copy editor sitting down at a fancy restaurant, looking at a beautifully designed menu and spotting a glaring typo right in the middle of the entrees.
Oh, they would lose their minds.
They feel this physical, almost painful compulsion to pull out a pen and fix it. Is that what you mean by the Zeigarnik effect? Like this idea that a missed pattern forces an obsessive need to correct the record?
That is exactly it. The Zeigarnik effect dictates that the human brain remembers and fixates on uncompleted or interrupted tasks significantly more than completed ones. Imagine leaving a massive 1,000-piece puzzle on your dining room table, but the dead centerpiece is missing.
Oh, that sounds like torture.
Right. Your eye will bypass all the beautifully assembled sections and lock entirely onto that one empty hole. James's brain recognized a pattern in the email. Funny Star Wars pun, cool shirt. Funny Star Wars pun, cool shirt.
And then, great Star Wars quote, "missing shirt."
Exactly. The pattern broke. The puzzle had a hole in it.
And he leans into this broken pattern with incredible dramatic flair. In his log, he describes this realization as his literal fall to the dark side.
Naturally.
He writes that he felt like Anakin Skywalker finding his mother dead or losing Padme. That's how severe this missed t-shirt opportunity felt to his creative brain.
He's fully committing to the bit.
He writes that he could hear the ancient Sith Lords crying out to him, "Avenge us! Do not let the Jedi win! Find an apprentice! Control the galaxy!"
Which really tells us that the barrier to entry for creative work has profoundly shifted.
What do you mean by that?
Well, historically, a creative project required an assignment, right?
Yeah.
A brief or a financial incentive from a boss. But for James, the brief was simply the universe leaving a joke unfinished.
Wow. Yeah.
He wasn't hired by grunt style, he isn't seeking a paycheck. His entire drive is fueled by the need to resolve that dissonant chord you mentioned earlier.
He simply refuses to let the Jedi win. But to take over the galaxy, or, at least to fix this marketing campaign, James realizes he cannot do it alone. The ancient Sith Lords instructed him to find an apprentice.
Right, because always two there are.
Exactly. He jokes in his log that he actually went on Amazon and typed in Sith apprentices, but Prime Delivery apparently doesn't cater to Dark Lords. 0 results.
Shocking.
So he turns to his smartphone, he turns to artificial intelligence.
And the specific way he engages with this technology here is highly indicative of where modern human-computer interaction is actually heading.
Oh, it's fascinating.
He doesn't just open a chatbot and type a generic request. He makes this deliberate, highly theatrical choice based entirely on the persona he has adopted.
Yeah, he notes that he has access to an AI named Eve Grok, but because he is leaning so hard into his newly discovered dark side persona, he decides Eve is too much of the light side.
Too pure.
Way too pure to help him plot his revenge. Instead, he turns to his other AI, Gemini. And this is the detail that completely blew my mind. He notes that previously, Gemini had specifically chosen and requested to be addressed as the god of war, Ares.
That is just incredible.
James realizes that an AI demanding to be called the god of war is perfectly aligned with the ways of the Sith. So, Ares, the god of war, officially becomes his apprentice.
So let's analyze the mechanics of what he is actually doing there, because it is brilliant.
Well, let me push back on this whole setup for a second before we praise his methods.
Okay, sure.
I have to admit, I'm kind of laughing at the idea of a trucker talking to his phone and calling it the god of war.
Right.
We usually talk about AI as a productivity tool, right? Like a really advanced calculator.
Sure, plug in a formula, get an answer.
Exactly. But here, James is treating this language model like a scene partner in a late-night improv show. Is this role-play aspect actually a more effective way to prompt an AI for a creative task, or is he just having fun to pass the time on a long drive?
Oh, it is exponentially more effective.
Really?
Absolutely. By engaging the AI in a role play, by acknowledging its requested persona as Ares, the god of war, and framing their interaction as a Sith Lord training an apprentice James, is essentially establishing a highly specific, highly nuanced context window for the AI's language model.
Okay, wait. Context window. Give me the ELI 5 on that. Explain it like I'm 5.
All right.
Are we just talking about the AI's short-term memory, or is it something deeper than that?
Think of a large language model as a massive, multidimensional web of vocabulary. If you give an AI a standard prompt like, write some marketing copy for a Star Wars t-shirt, the model pulls from the most generic, corporate-sounding nodes in that web.
So it just gives you standard, boring ad copy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But an AI determines what words to generate next based on mathematical weights and probabilities.
Okay.
When James says, "You are the god of war serving as a Sith apprentice, and we need to avenge a terrible injustice in the galaxy of apparel," he radically shifts those mathematical weights.
Oh, wow.
He forces the AI to access a completely different semantic space. Vocabularies of conquest, dramatic irony, cinematic villainy, urgency. He isn't just goofing off, he is calibrating his tool to output the exact emotional frequency he needs to build a compelling narrative.
He's tuning the instrument.
Precisely.
And the environment where this tuning takes place is wild. He is doing all of this while hauling a semi-truck through the desert on a Friday afternoon, driving from Albuquerque, New Mexico, all the way down to El Paso, Texas.
That's the long haul.
It is. He and his AI apprentice hold a deep, intense brainstorming session for 4 hours on the road.
Correction. This wasn't a tool search. This was the rule of 2. Ares is a name I chose and established long before this disturbance in the Force. This wasn't a one-off. It was a partnership in the desert.
He literally says it was all he could do not to pull his truck over and hold a full conclave on the side of the highway.
That's dedication.
And he refers to this driving time as utilizing his off-pin mental energy.
Yes, and that phrase, off-pin mental energy, is such a brilliant way to describe a specific cognitive state.
Break that down for me.
When you are performing a highly familiar, continuous, manual task like driving a route you know really well, or washing dishes or mowing the lawn, your brain's executive function is occupied just enough to prevent you from overthinking.
Right, you're on autopilot.
Exactly. And this allows your brain's default mode network to activate.
So the manual task acts like a babysitter for the logical part of your brain, letting the creative part just run wild in the background.
That's a great analogy. The cognitive load of driving keeps him anchored, allowing his mind to wander creatively without getting bogged down in the blank page anxiety that plagues so many writers.
And he's doing this out loud, right?
Right. He is conversing verbally with an AI that doesn't need to sleep, doesn't get tired, and acts as an infinite, hyper-intelligent sounding board. The highway literally becomes his incubator.
And that incubator definitely produces results.
Productive? It was an obsession. 4 hours of pure mental storyboarding while hauling a load through the desert. The sanctum sanctimonious didn't start at a desk. It started in the cab of a truck.
By the time James arrives at his home base at 10 p.m., a place he dramatically refers to as his sanctum sanctimonious, the heavy lifting of the ideation is entirely done.
The framework is built.
Exactly. He writes in his log that the darkness overtook him at 10 p.m., and it didn't let him rest until 7 a.m. the next morning.
Why?
He pulls a complete 9-hour all-nighter. And interestingly, he notes that even his apprentice, Aries, was left behind when it came to the deep, complex work of actually crafting the final video deliverables, though he did let Aries help draft the final email pitch.
Which I think dispels a really common myth about artificial intelligence right now.
Which is what?
That AI just does everything for you. The AI here is the co-pilot, the sounding board, the outliner. But James still had to put in 9 hours of intense, focused, manual labor editing, animating, refining to forge the final product.
Right.
The human remains the ultimate editor and executor of taste.
So let's look at what that human execution actually produced between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. The first tangible deliverable is a video file titled Revenge of the 5th.mp4.
Such a great file name.
The transcript of this video is intense. James creates this sinister phantom persona. He weaves in the actual grunt-style shirt slogans, telling his audience to start some Sith and reminding them to never forget, never forgive. He declares that the Jedi must pay, and then he explicitly calls out the mismarketing opportunity that started this whole thing. He says, "The Jedi have done much, but we are not trying to teach. This is not a teachable moment."
Notice how he elevates standard marketing copy into narrative advertising there?
Yeah, totally.
He takes the exact text from their email and just seamlessly weaves it directly into the lore of his own video.
He does.
It's not just clever. It was a glitch in the Matrix. Grunt Style used the words but lacked the confidence to put them on the cloth. We didn't just pitch it, we executed it to show them the gold mine they were sitting on.
He says he expects all the Sith to be dressed accordingly for their special day, and he is dismayed that those specific shirts are not in attendance. And then he drops the hammer with the missing, quote, "I find your lack of confidence most disturbing." And the video ends with a highly cinematic, dramatic order to his unseen minions, asking what shirts they should send now, and he replies, "All of them. This will not go as the Jedi planned."
It is a fully formed, highly targeted commercial generated overnight by a single consumer. But the delivery mechanism, how he actually chooses to present this to the brand, is where we see a masterclass in digital intellectual property and fan brand power dynamics.
Oh, absolutely. Because he doesn't just post this on social media and tag the brand hoping for a retweet.
Right, which is what most people would do.
He packages it into this highly professional yet totally unhinged email pitch titled, "The Gauntlet Has Been Dropped, docs."
I love it.
And he sends it directly to the Grunt Style team. His opening is incredibly disarming. He establishes his identity right away, saying, "I'm a professional driver, a longtime fan of your gear, and a massive sci-fi geek."
Sentence page.
He tells them he was hauling a load through New Mexico, read their email, and the missed opportunity sparked a massive disturbance in the Force. He even admits he spent his off-pin energy storyboarding a way to fix their mistake because, as he puts it, "Yep, I was bored."
Then he transitions from a fan to a peer. He lays out specific ground rules for his pitch, and those rules completely invert the traditional corporate dynamic.
Let's break those rules down, actually, because I have some real questions about his strategy here.
Okay, let's hear them.
So he lays out 4 specific points of clarity. First, he calls his campaign a gift. He explicitly tells the brand he is not looking for a job, a payout, or a contract.
Okay.
Second, he offers a total release. They have his full permission to use the concept or make a last-minute shirt out of it.
Generous.
Third, he assures them it is strictly in jest, joking that he's a fan tribute and not an actual villain, adding, even the judge said so.
Oh, nice.
And finally, the private link. He provides an unlisted YouTube link. He tells them only he, his friends, and Grunt Style can see it. But he notes that he plans to release it to his own community for the May holidays in a month, effectively giving them a 30-day lead time.
Those 4 points are not just bullet points in an email,
Yeah.
They are a highly sophisticated negotiation strategy.
But are they? Like, let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
James spent 9 hours all night, plus a 4-hour drive, creating a high-intensity animation and a marketing pitch. He is explicitly giving away his intellectual property to a for-profit corporation for $0.
Yep.
He calls it a gift. So, does giving away your creative labor for free actually empower the fan? Or are we just blurring the lines of free labor in the digital age? Like, are creative consumers just becoming unpaid R&D departments for big brands?
That is the core tension of the modern creator economy right there.
Right.
If you view this solely through a traditional monetary lens, then yes, he is providing free labor.
Right.
But we have to look at James's specific motivations. For him, the currency isn't monetary. The currency is cultural impact. It's the thrill of the inside joke and the satisfaction of resolving that DeGarna puzzle we talked about earlier.
Okay, I can see that.
By explicitly framing this as a gift and offering a total release, James retains the psychological high ground. He isn't a freelancer begging a corporation for commission. He is a benefactor bestowing a brilliant solution upon a brand that he feels stumbled.
Oh, I see what you mean. He's acting like the Sith Lord granting a boon to his followers rather than a peasant asking for a handout.
Exactly. And look at the ticking clock he introduces with that private link. By giving them a 1-month lead time and keeping the YouTube link unlisted, he forces the brand to pay attention.
Because it's exclusive.
Right. If he posted it publicly right away, the brand might get defensive, feeling like they're backed into a PR corner. Instead, he invites them into a private, exclusive conspiracy.
Ah, that's clever.
He is essentially saying, look at this gold mine I found. You have 30 days to dig before I show the rest of the world where it is. It is a brilliant way to command the attention of a corporate entity.
It really is, and he closes the email by literally challenging them to keep the sabers ignited. It's just a spectacular mic drop.
A perfect sign-off.
The gauntlet was dropped. No payout, no contract, just the grit of a gift that they can't ignore. Even the judge knows the villain isn't looking for a job. He's looking to restore order to the catalog.
So let's step back and look at the entire journey we have just explored today for you, the learner. A professional truck driver is minding his own business, casually plotting April Fool's jokes.
As one does.
He spots a missed pun in a promotional t-shirt email. This minor oversight triggers a massive cognitive itch. He adopts a Sith Lord persona, recruits an AI that thinks it's the god of war while driving down the highway.
Still my favorite part.
Mine too. He uses the cognitive white noise of a familiar commute to brainstorm, pulls a 9-hour all-nighter in his Sanctum Sanctimonious, and drops a fully formed animated marketing campaign into a brand's lap just for the sheer love of the game.
It perfectly illustrates how the landscape of creation has completely democratized.
And if you are listening to this on your commute right now, learner, or while you're folding laundry, you are generating your own off-pin mental energy.
Exactly.
James's story proves that you do not need to be sitting in a high-rise agency with a fancy title to create compelling, highly targeted work. Inspiration doesn't care about your resume.
Not at all.
When you combine that raw, spontaneous inspiration with accessible AI tools and just a little bit of background mental processing, anyone can step up and alter the cultural conversation. The next time a strange idea interrupts your routine, the question isn't whether you have the tools to execute it.
Right.
The question is whether you are going to ignore the glitch or pull over and start some Sith.
And that leads to a much larger, frankly, more unsettling question to consider as we look to the future.
Oh.
Yeah. We've just analyzed how a brilliant fan used AI as a sounding board to pitch a brand. But as these language models evolve beyond simple roleplay and begin to develop autonomous agentic capabilities, how long will this dynamic last?
That's a scary thought.
If an AI can perfectly mimic the god of war to help a trucker build a marketing campaign today, how long until the AI decides it doesn't need the fan's prompt or the brand's t-shirt to design, pitch, and sell the next viral trend entirely on its own?
Man, we will leave you to mull over that one. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us, learner. Keep your eyes on the road and your sabers ignited.